So, what's the real secret that separates a good project manager from a truly great one? Well, I'll tell you what it's not. It's not about working later than everyone else or trying to be some kind of hero. It really comes down to a few key skills, and more importantly, a huge shift in your mindset. And today, we're going to break down exactly what those are. Okay, let's put you in the hot seat. Picture this. The deadline is staring you down. It's just 3 days away. Your team has hit a wall, they're totally stuck, and to top it all off, your stakeholders are breathing down your neck asking for an update. We've all been there, right? This is that make or break moment that really defines a project manager. Because without a clear leader in that moment, this is exactly what happens. You know the drill. A little bit of confusion turns into a lot of frustration, and before you know it, everybody's pointing fingers. Teamwork just completely evaporates, and all that forward momentum you had, gone. It's just chaos. And it's the classic sign that a project is heading off a cliff. Now, what's our first instinct when things go wrong? It's usually to jump in and try to be the hero, right? To just fix everything ourselves, work all night, and save the day. But here's the thing. That is not a long-term strategy. In fact, it's pretty much the exact opposite of what great project management is all about. And here it is. This is probably the single most important idea we're going to talk about. A great project manager doesn't do all the work. They make it possible for everyone else to do their best work. Their job isn't doer, it's enabler. They're there to clear the path, provide clarity, and empower the team. So, how on earth do they do that? Well, it really starts with two really foundational skills. First, you've got to master how you communicate. And second, you have to master what your team focuses on. I promise, if you get these two things right, everything else gets so much easier. Let's start with the first one. Just think of communication as the lifeblood of your entire project. When it's flowing freely, everyone's on the same page, expectations are super clear, and you have way fewer mistakes. A great PM makes sure that information is always flowing. We're talking regular updates, clear documentation. They make it so nobody ever has to wonder, wait, what's going on with this? Next step, great project managers know that not all tasks are created equal. Some are just more important than others. So they are absolutely ruthless about focusing the team on what's going to make the biggest impact. They find that critical path, that essential chain of tasks that have to happen in order. It's like a line of dominoes. They protect that line of dominoes at all costs and just clear away all the other stuff that's just noise. Okay, so you're communicating like a pro, and you're focused on the right stuff. That's your internal foundation. Now we've got to look outward, to managing all the people involved and, just as important, setting clear boundaries for the project itself. Let's be real. Stakeholders can make or break a project. You've got your team, your clients, your bosses, and they all have different needs and different levels of involvement. The key to managing all of them is just creating absolute clarity from day one. And luckily, there's a fantastic little tool for that. These right here, these are the questions that can cause so much chaos. Who is actually supposed to be doing this task? Who has the final say? And who just needs an update? When these roles are fuzzy, you either get people doing the same work twice, or even worse, things get dropped because everyone assumed someone else was handling it. We need a system. And that system is called a RACI matrix. Now, it might look a little corporate, but trust me, it is so simple and so powerful. For every single task, you assign one of 4 roles. R is for responsible. That's the person actually doing the hands-on work. A is for accountable, the one person who owns the final outcome. C is for consulted. These are the experts you ask for input. And I is for informed, the people you just keep in the loop with updates. And just like that, boom, all the confusion is gone. All right, let's talk about every project manager's nightmare, scope creep. It's this silent killer, right? It's that one tiny request here and that, oh, can you just add this one small thing there? And slowly, without anyone noticing, your nice, defined project has turned into this giant, complicated monster. So, how do you fight this monster? Well, the best defense is a great offense. Before anyone writes a single line of code or designs a single thing, you create a detailed project plan that everyone, and I mean everyone, agrees on. This document becomes your North Star. It defines exactly what you are doing and what you are not doing. So when those extra requests come in, you have a tool to politely but firmly say, that's a great idea for phase 2. All right, we've tackled the big structural pieces, communication, priorities, and scope. Now let's zoom in a little on the day-to-day skills that have a huge impact on your team's energy and, well, their happiness. We have all sat in meetings that could have been an email. It's the worst. Great PMs just don't let that happen. Their meetings actually work because they follow a dead simple formula. 1, they start with a crystal clear agenda. Everyone knows why they're there. 2, they steer the conversation and keep it on topic. And 3, and this is the most important part, they end with clear, actionable next steps. Who is doing what and by when. That's it. It's not rocket science. Look, you can't force someone to be motivated. Real motivation, the kind that lasts, it comes from purpose, and it comes from trust. A great project manager sets a clear vision, a clear why, and then they get out of the way. They trust their team of experts to be experts. Their job is to unblock them and support them, not to control their every single move. They're a coach, not a micromanager.
And that brings us to our final skill. And honestly, this might be the most important one of all. Because it's not just a technique you use, it's a fundamental change in how you view your entire job. This slide just says it all, doesn't it? Over on the left, you've got the doer. They're trying to have all the answers, trying to do it all themselves. They're the hero pushing the boulder up the hill all alone. But on the right, you have the enabler. They aren't trying to have all the answers, they're trying to ask the right questions. They don't do the work, they unblock the team so the team can do the work. This shift, right here, is what unleashes your team's full potential.
So there you have it. That is your 7-skill toolkit for going from good to great. It's about mastering communication and being ruthless with your priorities. It's about managing stakeholders with tools like Rossi and defending your project from scope creep. It's running meetings that people don't hate and motivating your team through trust. And underneath it all, it's that one crucial mindset shift, from being the doer to becoming the enabler.
And that leaves us with one last question for you. You don't have to become a master of all of these things tomorrow. Just take a second and think about your projects right now. Which one of these 7 skills, if you just focused on that one thing, would make the biggest difference for you and your team, starting today?
I am genuinely curious to hear what you think, so drop your answer down in the comments below. Let us know which skill you're going to tackle first. And of course, if this was helpful for you, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our next explainer. Thanks so much for watching.